Hello there. On the eve of the UK farmer protest in London tomorrow, the French farmers have restarted their actions against their government, with more road blockades today. Dozens of farmer protests are taking place across France today and are being dubbed Act 2 of their demonstrations. And it is the proposed EU trade deal with the Mercosur countries of Argentina, Brazil, Uruguay, Paraguay and Bolivia in South America that has attracted the farmers' ire. And that deal is on the cusp of being signed off. The EU wants to open up trade with South America to sell high-end expensive goods to them, like cars and clothes and wine. But the farmers fear that as part of the deal, cheaper and maybe inferior foods will be allowed to flow the other way into the EU single market, so undercutting the farmers. And the now lame duck French President Emmanuel Macron is definitely unhappy with the deal. It might upset his hugely powerful farming lobby. So Macron wants to stall the deal that has been 2 decades in the making, but those like the EU Commission, Germany and Spain just want the deal signed off. But get this. The EU and UK are working in ways that makes energy as expensive as possible. What future EU and UK farming and manufacturing anyway with this grand net zero push? But this deal is also worrying the farmers of Scotland, with the scottishfarmer.co.uk saying, "The EU remains Scotland's most important market for sales of whisky, salmon, seafood like langoustines, scampi and scallops, and beef and lamb." And further, that France is the main EU market for them. So, says the report, when the deal is signed, EU supermarkets and consumers might suddenly discover an appetite for cheap beef, salmon, wine, and a host of South American products. Scottish EU exports could face a nosedive. But some would still blame Brexit for that, wouldn't they? Now, Mercosur is a trading bloc whose full name is the Southern Common Market. And it generated over $5 trillion in trade in 2023, making it the 5th largest trading bloc on the planet. Now, Arnaud Rousseau, the head of the largest farming union in France, the FNSEA, says his members will be aiming their activities at government buildings and roundabouts, but not in a way that inconveniences the French people. But other farmers are taking a more direct approach, as they usually do, by blocking roads and bridges. But despite what Macron thinks, the new French Interior Minister Bruno Retailleau says there will be zero tolerance of anything that causes long-term disruption. It sounds like the French farmers are up against the state and the clock.